Maria was born in a small province far from the city. Her father was a fisherman who never returned home after a violent storm. Her mother tried to hold the family together by doing laundry for neighbors, but illness slowly took her strength away. By the time Maria was 16, she was alone. No parents, no savings, no safety net. All she had was her voice. People in her village used to say she sang like the radio, clear and emotional, the kind of voice that made people stop what they were doing. But talent alone does not pay hospital bills or put food on the table. When her mother passed away, Maria took a bus to Manila with a small bag and a big dream that somehow, somewhere, someone would hear her. Life in the city was harsher than she imagined. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into years. She slept in shared rooms, then on friends' floors, and finally on the streets when even those options disappeared. Singing became her only way to earn a few coins. Some people smiled, some ignored her, some filmed her on their phones, and others walked past as if she did not exist. She learned not to expect kindness. She learned not to hope too much. One humid afternoon, the sky heavy with clouds, Maria stood at her usual spot near a pedestrian crossing. Her stomach was empty, her throat dry, but she still lifted the microphone. She chose a song her mother used to hum while washing clothes, a song about longing, about holding on when everything feels lost. As she sang, her voice cracked. Not because she forgot the lyrics, but because the weight of her life finally became too heavy. Tears streamed down her face as she continued singing, her voice trembling but honest. This was not a performance. This was a cry for help. People slowed down. Some stopped. A few whispered to each other. Coins dropped into her small plastic cup. But one person did more than stop. On the other side of the street, a Manila police officer named Ramon noticed her. He had been on duty for hours, walking his usual route with his K9 partner, a brown and black dog named Max. Ramon was known among his colleagues as quiet and strict, a man who followed rules and rarely showed emotion. But something about that voice cut through him. Ramon had grown up poor too. He remembered his own mother singing softly at night when there was nothing to eat, using music to make hunger feel less painful. As Maria sang, Ramon felt a tightness in his chest. He watched Max suddenly pull slightly on the leash, ears alert, eyes fixed on the young woman. The dog sensed it too. Something was wrong. Against protocol, Ramon crossed the street. Traffic slowed as he approached. Maria saw the uniform and her heart sank. In her experience, police usually asked her to move, to stop, to go somewhere else. Her hands began to shake. But she kept singing, because stopping felt like giving up. Ramon stood a few feet away and listened until the song ended. There was a brief silence, broken only by the sounds of the city. Maria lowered the microphone, unable to look up. Then something unexpected happened. Max stepped forward gently, tail wagging slowly, and sat right in front of her. The dog looked up at her with soft eyes and let out a quiet whine. Maria knelt down without thinking and wrapped her arms around him. She cried into his fur, the tears she had held back for years finally falling free. The crowd grew quiet. Phones came out, but this time not for entertainment. This was something different. Ramon crouched down too and spoke softly, asking her name, asking if she had eaten, asking where she lived. Maria could barely answer. Her voice was gone, replaced by sobs. Ramon reached into his pocket and pulled out his own lunch, a simple pack of rice and fish. He placed it in her hands. She hesitated, then accepted it with trembling fingers. As she ate, Max stayed by her side, refusing to move. Ramon made a decision that would change everything. Instead of telling her to leave, Ramon asked her to come with him to the station, not as a suspect, not in trouble, but as a guest. People murmured as he helped her gather her things. Someone recorded the moment Maria walked beside a police officer and his dog, still crying, still confused. At the station, officers stared in surprise. Ramon explained quickly. He called a social worker he knew and asked for help. He bought Maria clean clothes and arranged for her to shower and rest. For the first time in years, she slept on a bed that night. The video of that afternoon spread across social media like wildfire. People shared it with captions about kindness, about humanity, about the power of music. Viewers around the world watched Maria cry into a police dog's fur and felt their hearts break and heal at the same time. Donations began to pour in. Local news stations arrived at the police station asking to interview the singer everyone was talking about. When Maria sang again, it was inside a small studio, not on the street. Her voice was still raw, still emotional, but now it carried hope. Ramon stood quietly in the corner with Max, arms crossed, eyes shining. He never thought his simple choice to listen would lead to this. A local music producer saw the video and reached out. He offered to help Maria record a song professionally. No contracts filled with traps, no false promises. Just a chance. Maria was terrified, but Ramon encouraged her, reminding her that her voice mattered. Weeks later, Maria recorded her first single. It was the same song she had sung on the street that day. When she finished, the room was silent. Even the producer wiped away tears. The song was released online and with days, it reached thousands, then millions. Comments flooded in from people saying her voice saved them, inspired them, reminded them to keep going. Maria moved into a small apartment arranged through donations. She enrolled in vocal lessons and began performing at small events. She visited shelters and sang for people who reminded her of herself, always bringing extra food, always staying to talk. And every time she performed in Manila, Ramon and Max were there, watching from the side, never asking for recognition. When asked in interviews what changed her life, Maria never talked about fame or money first. She talked about a moment when someone stopped to listen. A moment when a police officer and his dog treated her like a human being, not a problem to move along. Ramon returned to his usual patrols. He did not become a celebrity. He did not seek attention. But in the quiet moments, when the city was calm, he sometimes heard Maria's song playing from a passing car or a nearby shop. And he smiled, knowing that compassion had done what force never could. Max, of course, became famous in his own way. Children recognized him, people brought treats, and Maria visited often, hugging him just like that first day. To her, Max was not just a dog. He was the bridge between despair and hope. This story is not just about a poor Filipina singer. It is about the power of listening, the courage to break routine, and the reminder that behind every voice is a life waiting to be seen. If this story touched your heart, remember that somewhere near you, someone is singing not for applause, but for survival. And sometimes, all it takes to change a life forever is to stop, listen, and care.